2 seconds. Morning. Sorry. Good morning. It's Andrew Morrissey here, and it is a bloody cold morning out there. I'd run to the printer. It said -5 on my car as I was driving in earlier on. So now the road I drove was grand. It was fine, to be honest with you. But I would just suggest that there potentially could be black ice in some of the roads this morning because it is absolutely freezing. Definitely the coldest day that we've so far. Took a couple of goes to defrost the car. I put a kettle of warm water over the windscreen, and by the time I had kind of gone in and grabbed my bag, it was refreezing again. And I mean, I'm talking less than a minute. So, yeah, just be aware, very, very cold out there this morning. The good news is we'll see mainly sunshine across many parts of the county again later today. But it's going to be quite cold, all right? Highs of only about 3 or 4 or 5 degrees, all right? So I'm on my own this morning. I have no Elaine. She's pulling a sick day. I know. She'll be back with us as per usual and as normal tomorrow, all right? Now, papers. Here's what we're waking up to on the Tuesday morning. It's the 16th of January today. Good morning. Front page of the Star, the bodyguard, gunman burial today. Gardaí will keep an eye on funeral home. A female known to Sherry targeted, it says here on the front page this morning, as Gardaí mounted a show of force yesterday outside the funeral home hosting Tristan Sherry's remains. So the removal took place last night and the funeral will take place today. This is of the man who allegedly opened fire in the restaurant in Dublin in Blanchardstown on Christmas Eve. That's on the front page there this morning. United look to get back in rat race is another story in the front page there this morning. Basically, it's all about Sir Jimmy Radcliffe, the guy who's now one of the new owners of Manchester United. Everything is rat this and rat that. Radcliffe, do you get it? So that's on the front page there this morning and in the sports section. And we come back to this because it's trending this morning. Páirc Uí Chaoimh to get value, as in VALU, for money. It's being renamed the Super Value Páirc Uí Chaoimh. So we'll come back to that in a minute, but a lot of people having their opinions on that last night. Mirror on the front page this morning, price freeze, but Electric Ireland cuts will only come into force from the 1st of March. So a lot of talk this week about energy companies dropping their prices for the customers. Well, from March 1st is Electric Ireland's price freeze, it says. Utility bills slashed. Same story then about the funeral home yesterday. Gardaí keep an eye on Sherry Funeral Home. And Patsy is on the front page there. That's Patsy Palmer. EastEnders is like returning, is like going home, she says, returning home. She's back in the soap. She plays Bianca. She was a great character, but she's back in it, and she's pictured at the front page of the Mirror this morning as well. Front page of the Irish Daily Mail, Russ Gray, Gardaí warned of arson threat. Fianna Fáil TD raised the alarm as protesters and officers clashed outside a hotel for refugees yesterday. Loads and loads of videos of this circulating online of protesters and Gardaí clashing. Well, Gardaí, who clashed with the protesters yesterday, are now being warned that this hotel could be under threat of an arson attack. As a demonstrator warned they would burn it down days earlier. That's also on the front page there this morning. Kate Moss is pictured as well. She's 50 years old today. 50 things you didn't know about Kate Moss on the day she turns 50. That's inside the Irish Daily Mail this morning as well. And finally, the Irish Independent then, more on utility bills. Gas and electricity prices may fall by 15% as expert says Electric Ireland cuts signal a return to normality. Households can expect more energy price cuts this year after Electric Ireland announced this week a second reduction in its tariffs in the past few months. Consumers could be in line for a 10% or 15% decrease in electricity and gas prices, according to the energy scientist Paul Dean at UCC. That's in the Independent this morning as well. And what do you make of this story? The Connacht GAA president warns integration with the GAA from the Ladies Association and the Camogie Association will take years. The president, John Murphy, has warned that the integration between all the associations coming together is not imminent and will require a huge financial contribution from the state to eventually bring it about. So this has been talked about for a long time now, that the GAA, the Ladies Football Association and the Camogie Association should be all under one body. However, there's obvious problems with that because they are, I mean, they're technically the same sport, but because they're all different organisations, they obviously all have their own structures, their own ideals in place, and so on and so on and so on. But in all honesty, and it's clearly not that easy to just go bang, right, we're all under the one umbrella, I get that, but it would make perfect sense to have the Men's Football and Hurling Association, the Ladies Football Association and the Camogie all under the one body. It just makes sense because it's all Gaelic games at the end of the day. We're all Gaelic football and hurling people and camogie people. So, you know what I mean? So that's in the Independent this morning as well. Now, the top trends that we're waking up to this morning. So Ross Gray, I mentioned there, it's in a lot of the papers this morning. That is trending, and it's to do with the clashes between the protesters outside a hotel earmarked for asylum seekers yesterday and Gardaí. There's loads of video reaction to this online as well. So that's one of the top trends this morning. Love Island All-Stars, the brand new series, is back and started at 9 o'clock last night. Yeah, we threw it on, we watched it. In all honesty, some of them are absolutely unrecognisable from when they were on the last time. But there's a lot of, let's call them very big characters in the Love Island villa. So it probably will make for very entertaining television, especially seeing as there's already been twists in it last night. I won't spoil it for you. So that's also trending this morning. Super Value is trending. So Super Value yesterday, it was announced have gotten the naming rights by Cork GAA to basically rename Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Now, there is absolute consternation. People are losing their minds over this. But this has been going on for a long time. All right, so just take, for example, you have the 3 Arena, right? Sponsored by 3 Mobile. You have the Aviva Stadium, sponsored by Aviva Insurance, right? Now, and you will say, yeah, but they're not GAA, blah, blah, blah. You have the Glenisk O'Connor Park in Offaly. You have Netwatch, Dr. Cullen Park in Carlow. This is not a new thing, lads, naming GAA Stadium. And you know what? If it brings in a few extra bob to the county board involved, and in this instance is Cork, then why not? It's not going to affect anybody. The matches are still going to go ahead. Do you know what I mean? They'll still have their concerts. But the point is, it still doesn't affect, like, it's not like you can kind of go, oh, well, that's it. There'll be no more hurling matches. That's a disaster. Like, it was inevitable. And you know what? Here in Kerry, I'm not saying anything like that will happen in the short term. But it's likely that in years to come, Austin Stack Park will get a commercial sponsor. Or Fitzgerald Stadium will get a commercial sponsor. Now, that might happen in 10 years' time, that might happen in 500 years' time, but it's likely it will happen. It just makes sense. So anyway, people are losing their minds with this on Twitter, though. And Blue Monday, Elena mentioned it yesterday. Some people believe it's total bullshit. Some people believe that it's genuine because it's Blue Monday is described as the most depressing day of the year, or one of the most depressing days of the year, because you're furthest from Christmas, as in Christmas is gone. You're midway through the month. You probably won't get paid for another couple of weeks, and so on. So they all, and then bills are starting to come in, so they all add up. But yesterday, what I found quite funny was on my feed, on my Instagram feed, my Facebook feed, and even emails, all I was getting was beat the Blue Monday blues and book yourself a holiday. It was all holiday sales stuff yesterday is all I was getting. And I was like, that's great. I have no money. So anyway, that was trending this morning as well. So those are the main stories we're waking up to this morning. I'm going to go make a coffee. We're live on air from 7 o'clock in about 90 seconds time. We have a load happening on the show today. So come here. Have a good Tuesday. Stay safe out there. Wrap up warm. And I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Have a good day. Good luck.